Hello, everyone. I'm Sheldon Barlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. It is always a pleasure and so much fun to talk to our next guest. This has been such a fun series of conversations that continue to thrive. I want for him to reintroduce himself, his first and last name, and all he's up to.
Sheldon, I'm Louis Bezich, men's health advocate, contributing writer to phillyvoice.com, and the author of Saving Men from Themselves, my
I
latest book.
I love it. The latest book, and you've been busy, my darling friend. You've been busy. What news do you have to share with us? I know that you just
Well,
launched.
we've mentioned it before, thank you. And that is my TED Talk. I recorded a TED Talk not too long ago in Cape May, New Jersey, and now it has been posted to the TED Universe, as they call it. So it's called Unleash Your Emotional Force to Live Healthy and Happy. I recommend it to folks. It's already getting a lot of views, so check it out.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We're going to be sharing that on Lewis's behalf also through our This Is It network channels. We want to make sure that as many people as possible set their eyes on it. So congratulations to that. You've
Thank
been
you.
busy. You've been
Yeah,
busy.
and then the other thing, of course, those of you who watch this once in a while, you can see I've got a little facial growth
I
going on
know.
here, and that is intentional. Let me just, we're recording this on October 31st,
We
so
are.
I'm Halloween, and I'm trying to get a jump on a nationwide effort called Movember. And
Moving.
that's an effort to bring attention to men's health, in particular prostate cancer and testicular cancer and things that have a huge impact on men. And by letting our mustaches grow and little facial hair, we're bringing attention to that very, very important thing and asking men to please take care of their health.
Please take care of your health. And reminders, all the gentlemen that be running around with full beards, goatees, and mustaches. So let it grow in, folks. Let them let it grow in. Some of them are capable more than others. So give them some leeway for those that are a little patchy. But our friend Lewis is looking pretty good already. We're looking pretty good already.
Well, thank you.
Of
Thank you.
course, of course. What are we diving into today, my friend?
Well, today, Sheldon, I wanted to talk about a serious issue when it comes to men and their well-being, because we're going to be in the midst of the holidays real soon. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, Christmas after that. And that is not perhaps, it is the most stressful time of year for all of us, but men in particular, because there's so much that men take on during the holiday season and
Sure.
responsibilities and such. And oftentimes, our masculine norms, if you will, suggest that we hold it in. And
Yeah.
that's not a good thing. And the bigger picture here is that men's mental health is getting a lot of attention these days, some good, some bad.
Yeah.
And so, let me just, if I could, just unpack
Sure.
this situation for a moment. On the good side, we've had, and we've talked about this, professional athletes, NFL stars, we've had politicians reveal their challenges with mental health, depression, et cetera, and been really recognized and complimented and supported in those revelations. So that's the good news. We've also got data that suggests that Generation Z and millennials are showing a greater interest in their mental health and balancing their work life situations in their lives, and other data points that show that millennials and Gen Z are more willing to address mental health.
Sure.
On the downside, we've
Yeah.
got American boys, a growing educational gap between girls and boys in school, and down the road that leads to mental, physical, and health problems, sometimes criminal justice problems as they grow older. We've got a huge trend going on of what some will characterize as hyper masculinity,
Yeah.
which is just, ingraining those traditional thoughts that, I don't need to see a doctor. That's a sign, seeing a doctor is a sign of weakness. And while that's a little bit lower in younger men, it continues to be more than some studies have showed that more than half of those 50 and older fall into a category where they identify as highly masculine. So,
Mhm.
we've got some counter wins here, some pluses, some minuses, but it all becomes so super important because what is undisputable is the rise in mental health care, mental health diagnoses.
Sure.
More men, and particularly more older men, are being diagnosed with depression and anxiety and other issues. And unfortunately, Sheldon, as we were just talking, that leads to a higher incidence in men of suicide.
Yes.
4 times the rate of women. Men represent 50% of the population, but 80% of the suicide. So that's what we're dealing with here. And that's why I wanted to bring it to folks' attention as we enter the holiday season.
As we enter the holiday season, first of all, those statistics seem so outrageous, right? As it
Yeah,
relates 4 times the amount, right? When you're sharing 50% of the population, it just seems so egregious in thought. But I think that stereotypically, men are traditionally asked to kind of suppress and hold things down and just do and not complain. But it has to go somewhere, right? It has to go
yeah,
somewhere. The angst of your life, the stress of your life around the holidays or any other time of the year, seeking resources or support to help you navigate that space shouldn't be and shouldn't come with a stigma or shame. It should be more talked
yeah,
about and providing more, useful ways in order for these gentlemen to be able to express themselves, express their frustration, talk about what's going on in their life, creating productive plans to be able to feel better and therefore support whether it's their family, their careers, etc. I think is so important. And I think that also, the get along to get along kind of situation that like,
mm,
one year comes, it compiles one thing after the other, especially now as the majority of us here in the US are dealing with economic strains, right?
mm,
Especially going into the holiday season, but also, a lot of conversations that I've been having with my peers are sending their kids to college. And what does that really look like as far as an expense is concerned? Preparing for your mortgage or your house or paying off those larger bills. You don't tend to prioritize your physical health, needless to say, your
right.
mental health. Do you agree?
Absolutely. We
Yeah,
we have to make it a priority.
yeah,
And particularly this time of year, we have to
yeah,
recognize that the true sign of masculinity, the true, guys that are in touch with themselves will get help. Will
yeah,
talk to folks and do
yeah,
things. And so, and there were really two things that all the experts suggest. Number one, as we approach the holidays in particular, number one, let's change our habits and change our routines for the holidays.
yeah.
Drinking and consumption of alcohol doesn't need to be the coping mechanism,
Right,
right? Start
right.
some new habits, start some new traditions that maybe are more along the healthier side that don't place stress, and be ready to say no. I can't make the third office party
Right,
this week, kind
right,
of thing. It's
right,
okay to say no. Let's back off some of those traditions that really are not in our best interest. And then
right.
the second thing is that the general antidote, if you will, or the general response to dealing with stress is to guess what we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Lead a healthy lifestyle, get some exercise, work. The Cleveland Clinic says the best thing you do is work up a sweat,
Work up a
whether
sweat.
that's walking around the block, whether that's, taking a run, whether that's, getting to the gym,
Yeah.
whatever it is, no matter how modest or small it can be, any step in that direction can help with your mental state. So
Yeah.
physical and mental, as we've talked many times, is so important in that respect, and particularly this time of year.
I agree. I agree. And so the resources that you find, I mean, obviously working out, there's obviously a number of different resources, through traditional medicine and psychiatrics in that way, if there was something that is severe. And
Oh,
we
sure.
encourage all of you to seek out physician help and seek out professional help if things get really dark. We want for you to utilize the resources that Lewis has shared now to ensure that we're not going to even get to that darker day, not even get to that pace, that maintenance, right? We talked about that plenty of times on the show, is that it's easier to stay ready than to get ready, right?
Yeah.
Kind of scenario. So it's easier to pay attention to these little things before they compound themselves.
Yep. Some basic healthy habits can go a long, long way. And
Sure.
and be open to those, be open to change because that's what can really make a difference.
Oh, that's a big one. Being open to change, right?
Yeah.
Old dog, new tricks is always a hard thing to swallow, especially for more seasoned gentlemen that are like, okay, this is how I've done it this whole entire time, and now I'm going to throw a wrench in it. Again, I think we've always talked about the accountability partners and doing
Yeah.
it for your family and having these kinds of benchmarks to kind of ensure that you have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Of course, will help your mental health as well.
Sure. And one last thought let me share is that
Sure, please.
the upside of the holidays is that the level of and the diversity of motivation,
Yes.
children, grandchildren, friends, family members is
Right.
right in front of us even more so than ever in the year. So there's your inspiration
For
to
sure.
follow through and lead a healthy lifestyle.
I love that. I'm inspired. I'm going to share this information with all of the gentlemen in my life, especially as we embark on the holidays and beyond. I want for people to get in touch with you, learn more about all that you have going on in this busy season of your life. If people want to follow, fan, and like you and get to know you a little bit more, my dear friend, where do they find that information?
They can find me on social media at Louis Bezich. And of course, on my website, louisbezich.com, you'll see what's going on in my world. Find a link to that TED Talk, find a link to the book and everything else that's going on in my world of
Oh, I
Ben.
love it. I love it. Please, 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 please get in touch with my dear friend. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. He's just getting started, and there's so many more exciting things up and coming, and you don't want to miss out. Thank you so much, Louis, for joining me.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Okay, guys, you have all the information that you need and some motivation to get you into the holiday season. For more information on This Is It Network, log on to thisisitTV.com, and we will see you soon. Take care.